Hello everyone and welcome back to another Let's Play video. Well, we're gonna have to change that soon. I am Jade and today I got something new. Firstly, to address the obvious, I am still sick. I did say in my last episode that I was going to be recording a couple of things today, and that is completely true, so that is why my voice sounds the same. Besides the point. Okay, what are we doing today? Now, ironically, and I'm going to pull this up on my other device, I am sort of starting a bit of a podcast slash get to know me slash I'm going to ramble for half an hour, guys. That is all that's happening. So, basically what this is I've noticed that my videos, because I've been adventuring so much and we've been making a lot of progress in the world, have been taking me significantly longer. Because of this, my recording sessions that were previously, a couple hours long, have only been enough to make one video. Which has meant I could either make the tough decision to restrict the amount of videos that I create and only post 2 or 3 in a fortnight. Bi-weekly for anyone else who doesn't do fortnights. So essentially, what I've realised is I need to do something. I need to make a change. So what this is going to be is I'm going to do some sort of menial task at my base, organising my storage room, doing the garden, that sort of stuff. And I'm going to come up with a theme each week, and we're going to just talk about that. Now, this is definitely inspired off of the Imp and Skiz podcast, made by Impulse and Skizzleman, 2 very established, very, very good content creators. Highly recommend you go and watch them. Highly recommend you go see their podcast. Now, I've watched their podcast pretty much every day for the last few months. It's so good, guys. And I've had a few things to say about it. Maybe not them and what they're saying directly, but what I think in my personal views. I do want to place a little bit of a disclaimer. If you guys are a younger member, I would say 12 and under, the themes that I'm going to be talking about are a little bit more difficult to comprehend. Not saying that you can't watch them, I'm saying that they're going to be bigger things and things that address the bigger, wider population. If anyone there is, uncomfortable with the fact that we're going to be talking about love, belonging, I wrote up some topics, purpose, things like that. They're not inappropriate topics at all, but they are difficult topics to understand. And I understand if there's anyone younger in this audience base, wouldn't recommend listening to this just because it can be confusing. It can create a lot of doubt as well. On to the real things. What are we talking about today? Well, mentioning Skizzleman, he is in Hermitcraft Season 10 and has made something called the Maslow's Pyramid of Needs. Now, this thing has always sort of intrigued me because of its structure. I want to pull it up just on my secondary screen. Now, it's a pyramid that essentially says you cannot meet the top until you've met your need on the bottom, on the base level. There are 5 levels. On the bottom is safety and security. On the bottom is physiological needs, and then safety and security, love and belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. Essentially, what it does is it means you cannot meet your safety needs without meeting your physiological needs first. You cannot meet your love and belonging needs without meeting your safety needs first. And so on and so forth. Which I feel like is a pretty interesting principle because many of us don't really take the time to consider that. So I want to bring this up as an opportunity to say, do we agree with this? Now, I'm going to say what I think, but obviously, have your own opinion. Please do not be completely influenced by what I say. In my opinion, Maslow's hierarchy of needs is relatively true. I think... No, I'm not making a chocolate box. Cool. I think it's relatively true. I think in every life, in everyone's livelihoods, there is some degree to which we can only meet our next sort of category of needs by meeting the previous ones first. And what I mean by this is that we can't feel complete. We can't feel the so self-actualization. Let me go through this. Is the ability to understand like what our purpose. What are we here for? You know, are we here to help others? Are we here to go and do X, Y, Z? And personally, I feel like I met that. Well, it seems a little bit crazy. I think I know what my purpose is. But I don't think I would be able to understand this, provided that I hadn't met some of my other needs beforehand. Now, what do I mean by this? I mean by this, I wasn't able to achieve this through just waking up one day and just choosing, you know, this is what I want to do. It has taken a lot of deliberation and thought, and having my other needs taken care of, you know, the physical ones and that sort of stuff. It helped me to enable myself to be able to, you know, identify like the root, if that sort of makes sense. By identifying sort of where I needed to improve on and the areas where I needed to focus on first, I was then able to achieve self-actualization. But I do have to disagree. The order. Now, I understand physiological needs and safety needs should always be at the bottom. You do need them. They are foundational principles of your, of your life. But love and belonging, esteem, and self-actualization, I think could be a little bit reordered. Because I don't believe that you need... I think you need to have a little bit of esteem, and I think you need to have a sense of where you want to be for love and belonging. You know, where do you want to belong? Having that idea. But I think even without that, you could still achieve it. It doesn't seem impossible or foreign to me. I need a hoe. Don't quote me on that. I personally believe that love and belonging, that sort of stuff, can all, you can reach self-actualization without reaching that. But, hold on. I need talking points. But I also think it is possible to lose your needs. For a very, very vague example, this is not a personal experience example, this is just a vague sort of one. What am I here for? A hoe. Is that someone who was doing well financially before may become homeless for whatever circumstance they're in, and that may cause however much emotional distress and stuff like that. But if, for say, they met that, they were able to feel a sense of self-actualization before they became homeless, I think that stays with them. I don't think that could go. So essentially what I'm saying is that once you've reached the top of Maslow's pyramid, once you have achieved it, even if you lose your other needs, if you lose physiological safety, esteem, that stuff like that, it's not exactly impossible to go. It's not impossible to start to get them back. Is that what I'm saying? This is my first time doing this. I will definitely get better. Probably write out my talking points next time. And I think we'll probably do 2 episodes today. We'll do 2 talking points. Because I want to say, because this pyramid is actually a very good display of an explanation Highly recommend you go watch the POVs of people who've done it. I know Tango Tech has done it. I know Ethos Lab has done it. False Symmetry, Ren the dog, his his take on it was actually a very, very good sort of point of view of it. He went into depth, not just on the like surface level, on the this is what I have to do. He took and tried to find meaning between each step. And I think when the World Downloads comes out, that will be a video. Because obviously I am not on Hermitcraft, even though I wish to be. Yeah. I'm gonna do the potatoes. But I want to ask how you feel about this. Maslow's pyramid and needs. What's the other thing? What's a need? To me, a need is something that you simply just need to survive. You know, one thing, not one thing. The basic essentials of your life. But then there's also the consideration that it's not just physical, it is mental as well, and that's why the levels of esteem and love and belonging come into play. Because your needs aren't just a physical thing. You know, for many people, they struggle with, not with bad things, just what am I saying? For people who, how am I? Oh yeah, no, for people who have the basic needs covered, but they don't quite have love, or they don't quite have a sense of belonging, it still doesn't feel like you're surviving. It doesn't feel like you're living, it feels like you're surviving. And I think it is important to address the fact that we don't just need our initial needs met. We need these other mental, invisible needs met as well. I don't know if that makes sense, guys, but I hope it does. Oh my gosh, so many potatoes. I'm doing this. Should have probably started with wheat. Anyway, I hope that was helpful, guys. I think I'm going to move on to a similar topic. And I haven't planned this one out, so bear with me. Oh, okay, here's a good one. Why am I here? Now, on the concept of self-actualization, I want to talk about why I'm here. Why am I doing YouTube? And I know I sort of addressed this in my first video. Coincidentally, I started my channel when I was sick last. And we are starting a new series and a new subtype of video on here the next time I can see. So that's fun. This will probably be out. I think I'll do one Let's Play, like one regular exploration or building Let's Play. And then one video in the Let's Play world, but we'll be talking about something else. Yeah, no, but the other question, why am I here? Because I think it's a pretty important one to ask. Like, what are my motivations for being here? Now, for some people, YouTube is a place to make money. It's a job. And while I agree there's lots of work involved, I don't consider YouTube to be my... I don't consider it to be work. Mainly because, well, I love it. I really, really enjoy doing YouTube, and I don't want something that I love to turn into work for me. The minute I turn it into a chore, or I turn it into something that I have to do, I don't enjoy it anymore. And this is something that I have dreamed of doing when I was a little kid. And I mean, I was one of the kids who I took my mum's video recorder, and I would record me doing some really just random childish things when I was a kid. And it brings back a lot of like memories and a lot of good times for me. Alright, I need to go down this out in the chest. which I think is the whole reason for doing this, the whole reason for being here, is to just have a good time and to make some memories. And I think the community that through you guys, through all of you, I've sort of I want to thank you guys for the community, because that is an aspect that I can't control. And while yes, I do stare at the numbers quite frequently, just hovering over them and wondering why certain videos do better and some videos do worse. I have this is a part of YouTube that I do recommend, try to figure out some sort of motivation, figure out something else. Not something else in terms of career-wise. Figuring out how you're going to deal with the numbers. Because YouTube ultimately is a numbers game. Every decision that you make will affect your numbers in some way. And while this doesn't work for me, it is still a part of doing YouTube. I mean, I would love to be that person who just says, here, hits upload, doesn't look at it again. Would love to do that. But unfortunately, it's in my nature to go back and look and scrutinize every detail and every little thing that I've done. But I want to say, if anyone's out here looking to start YouTube, and I mean, I'm not a very big creator, obviously, but I've put a couple words of advice. And I mean this literally, and just in most aspects of your life. Don't focus on the numbers. Try to remember what you have control over. Because you can only control you. All you can do when you're doing YouTube is click upload, make another good video, and keep on moving. If some videos will do better, some videos will do worse. It's just how it works. And as much as you can hope for another good video, they're not all going to be like that. I mean, I'm still waiting for a good one since I came back. And while I understand that it's out of my control, it doesn't make it any easier. I think accepting that it's not under your control is going to be the most useful. And I'm not saying you have to do anything if you don't want to. I'm not trying to say that you have to, don't look at the numbers at all whatsoever. What I'm trying to say is there are two things that can happen, other than death and taxes, like people say. Two things that can happen in life. You can do the things that you can control, and there are things that you can't control. With the things you can control, learn from them. You can control your actions for a certain time of day. Come back. I can't control that ghast, even though I really want to go on its back and ride around and get a little aerial view of my town. But I can control the fact that I can go get a snowball. And I can go lure it to me. So I'm able to just go and get it. I can't control the fact that I lost my sheep, but I can control the fact that I'm going to breed them all. And I think that's the more important thing. I think if you want to dwell on the things that you can't control, your life is just not going to be fun. It's going to be pretty miserable. But if you can dwell on what you can control, you make life a little more exciting. Is it an axe that you can do too? Yeah, it is. Yeah, I don't have that many more words of wisdom to say. I don't know. I hope you all are having a really good day today. I hope that You are here to have a good time, to sort of chill, relax. You know, we all come to different places for different reasons. I turn to YouTube as a zone of calm, usually. Past life, anyone? I hope that you guys turn to this channel to see Jade for not advice, not life advice, but for a space where it doesn't matter. Nothing doesn't really. I gotta rephrase this properly. I hope you came here to have a space that's full of calm. A place that's not, you know, those super hyper excited YouTubers, but someone or like a place where things get to be chill. Things get to be a break from reality, from whatever difficulties, whatever hardships we're facing, and a place we just get to enjoy. And I really hope you're here to enjoy that. I want to say thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening to this first one or watching. Thank you for staying with me on this endeavor in my journey. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye!